Hello.
TCS Sports.
We're back again.
After a long month interval.
Because
we were busy.
Very, very, very busy.
Jobs.
So, for today, we got me, your host, Cope, Sage, Big Unk, and Pork. Welcome. We're missing one person.
No, we're always missing him.
Who's that?
Let's see. Hey.
It was me.
Huh.
Did you?
Hey.
I don't know. Can't come across it.
Well, it is Tuesday.
But it's not Taco
It's
Tuesday.
no Taco
No
Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday.
Unfortunately, we do not have Taco with us today.
Fuck you mean I got his family right here.
Taco Bell.
No Taco Tuesday.
No.
So, for today, we're going to talk a little bit of NFL, a little bit of NHL, and a little bit of MLB.
Right.
A little bit of everything.
So,
A little bit.
in our last episode, which was a month ago,
Don't know if y'all remember it.
but at that point in time, it was that when Aaron Rodgers officially signed with the Steelers.
Gosh darn.
And
Now
you
we're
fast
ruined.
forward a little
Damn,
bit.
it's been a month since Rodgers been a fucking Steeler.
Right.
Jesus.
But we're still
Rodgers-
losing.
What is it?
Rodgers signed.
Season hasn't started yet. We're already
We're already
What you
losing.
mean? A
Hung out
dog
with the
shot a
team.
ball into a basket. We're going to the Super Bowl.
Had some laughs, played some golf, did some publicity, and now he's out in California somewhere, and apparently he has a handful of other Steelers with him doing some
team bonding.
They're doing
some
those
team
game
bonding.
They sure do love that team bonding.
Some team bonding. You gotta love that team bonding.
Yeah, I loved it.
I like it.
Well, in the meantime, while they're doing some team bonding,
Yeah.
they decided to make a trade.
Yes, they did.
Oh, that's surprising. Traded in the offseason by the Steelers? Who would have guessed?
I mean, hey, we're coming up on preseason, so this is kind of a little late trade.
Right. So after they signed Rodgers, next thing you know, they decide to make a transaction, and they thought, here's what we could do. We could make a phone call to Miami, or better yet, Miami made a phone call to us and said, we would like to make a trade for a couple guys. What you got? And the guy on our end was like, well, this is what we got. We got this guy who plays in the defensive backfield. He's, kind of having a little bit of off seasons here. We can give him to you. What you got in return? And you're like, we can give you a tight end in the corner. They're pretty good. So
you gotta tell us, who are the players?
oh, wait. What are we talking about? So, Miami and Pittsburgh decided to have
Make
some
a child?
talks, and we
No,
decided to trade Minka Fitzpatrick
Oh, not that
to
old
Miami for Janu Smith
No.
and Jalen Ramsey
But they also got a pick.
Well,
and a peak.
we swapped picks.
Hey!
Say, what was
Hey, girl.
Hey, Amber.
And a pick. So, any thoughts? I look at it as, something that apparent that Omar Khan and the organization wanted to do. They were probably looking to add a little bit more veteran leadership and depth in the tight end position.
After
And
our
also
last,
probably thought to
injury.
themselves they really wanted to solidify the spots at the corner position. Maybe with the thought process in mind of, well, we have Minka, we have Deshaun Elliott, and oh, by the way, we also have Juan Thornhill. And thought to themselves we could probably do away with Minka, insert Juan Thornhill or whomever.
So, like, my thing with this trade that they did is they ended up removing the youth that we had in the team.
This is very true.
So you ended up giving up
It's very true.
a young star who had an off season, or maybe 2 off seasons.
But I think
It's
at the
true.
same time, I think the draft kind of helps balance it because we did draft a lot of guys who
So-
will become potential starters.
But
Yep.
more or less, we did end up losing the youth in the safety position.
Yes.
Well,
Because
that's true.
now we
one
have
person.
Darius Slay. We have,
Jalen Rams.
Ramsey.
And where I did hear that Ramsey is apparently taking some snaps at the safety position. Since we have, JPJ, Slay, and some other youths who might be, good
Well,
starters.
I mean, once again, that still is another player who is, a few years away from retiring. I don't even know how old he is, but it's still a closer gap than what it was for Minka. And then, once that comes up, what are we going to do again? We got Darius Slay and Jalen Ramsey, who are older.
Yes.
So, whenever they're done, what are we
Well, I
going to do?
guess, our hope is to have them mentor the
The
younger guys to have.
Probably because they didn't really
Yeah.
have much of anything. They all of a sudden they had to insert quickly, particularly in the cornerback position, guys like JPJ and other guys. Those other guys we didn't like. What the heck was their names?
We have Corey Trice and.
No. The ones before that you were like, like Patrick Peterson
Oh.
and so on and so forth.
We don't take it.
And you
we
couldn't
don't
get
talk
anything,
about
huh?
Peterson. We don't talk about Peterson.
Well, I'm saying is that's what we had, and so you're trying to get these young guys in, and now they're trying to follow the lead of guys like Patrick Peterson and Cam Sutton
Dante Jackson.
and stuff like that. Now you have guys that have proven themselves in that position as Slay and Ramsey,
Yeah.
which can now
Both
probably
are Super Bowl champions.
point these younger kids in a better general direction than what these other guys have. So, yeah, it's sort of, you kind of do this, and it kind of almost makes me think that what will hurt, as far as that's concerned, is once you get into weeks 11, 12, 13, 14, those old legs are going to start to weeble wobble as the season goes on.
Well, pretty much after signing Rodgers, he already came out and said that this is going to be his final year.
Sure.
So
No matter what happens,
No matter what.
and and what's funny is watching him interact with media and players. It almost seems like he has that in the back of his mind, but he still like now he just wants to play. He wants to get out there. He wants to grab the football. He wants to throw it. No matter what happens, he just wants to go out there and just
It's pretty much his
play.
one last dance.
I guess to a point, and I think if something grand comes out of that, great. If not, then now you have a youngster on the sideline that can watch how things truly work out from a professional standpoint.
Watching one of the great quarterbacks. In the
Of our
I like
generation,
that,
in
Of, like, the
Aaron
Big Ben
Rodgers.
era.
So yeah, maybe you can say that they're looking to win now, like they want to make a charge now. But it does take away the fact that yes, they are a little bit older and they kind of push a little bit of youth aside, and maybe it's not such a bad thing.
Mhm.
Maybe it will work out a little bit. Maybe they'll allow for those guys to mentor and teach, and then maybe allow the young kids to be inserted into the lineup come weeks 11, 12, 13, 14, and so on. So you're not wearing those legs down.
that's kind of what I was referring to, is having them to help mentor, to have them
Right.
become eventual starters.
Right. So
Since the whole Peterson
it's going to be interesting.
Jackson didn't
The
work
nice
out.
the nice thing though is even Jalen Ramsey is aged, but I would still
He's still a
want
top corner.
to sit there and watch a Jalen Ramsey over Patrick Peterson or Cam Sutton.
Yeah.
And I would love. I can't wait to see what's going to transpire with now adding Janu Smith into the offense. Now you have Fryermuth and Smith
With Darnell
as
Washington.
weapons, along with
Big boy.
DK and some of the other.
Yeah.
So that's going to be nice.
Yeah, I think overall, for both sides, it's kind of a win-win. Pittsburgh kind of gets some of their needs taken care of.
Now,
I believe
for now,
Miami lost
this
their
point in time.
safety, so getting Fitzpatrick back who has proven to be a capable player. He'll help their team. So
Yeah,
I think
it,
it's a
it was
win-win,
it, it was
pretty
it was
much.
tough to see, but
yeah,
maybe it was a necessity. Maybe having these older, young, seasoned veterans step in and actually appear as if that they will actually take the time to mentor and teach, as opposed to what we had in the past couple of years.
Yeah.
So I mean, time will tell. Steelers camp starts July 24th, and from there, preseason games will pop up.
I mean, they're already back in the city, like at the complex down on the south side.
Okay.
So they already have some like training going on down there.
yeah, it's always a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you have to maintain if you want to.
Well, I guess whenever they go down there, that's kind of their way away from the fans.
Well, I'm sure. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. No doubt.
Because it's all enclosed,
No doubt.
privacy fence. They have like a tall ass wall that blocks like the one street coming down. They
Right.
kind of just
They can just do what
they're
they got to do.
focusing on what they got to work on.
And quite frankly, no one's really paying that much attention due to the fact that it's beginning of July.
Yeah.
They're not going to really full on pay attention until
Well, more or less, they're just
camp starts.
they want the players and the team to focus on what they're doing at hand instead of being surrounded by a bunch of fans at the training
And
camps.
media.
and media.
And media as well. Yeah, that doesn't make
Now, like the Steelers, they have their own TikTok and their social media page,
Sure.
which is how we found out about it.
right.
In
But-
which I'm going to include something based off of an Instagram post I saw. July 21st of this year, they will be revealing something. We have been rumored that it's a helmet or full uniform or something, but it is confirmed that on the 21st they will be talking about something. So,
Well, not only that, but while we're on the Steelers topic, and we'll make this brief, but it's still unknown and unclear on what direction or if any that's going to happen between the Steelers and T.J. Watt. There has been rumors and speculation and about T.J. Watt and some possible deals with other teams. You had said that you saw something T.J. Watt related about being traded to.
so I've seen people doing mock packages, mock trades, this and that. I know the Steelers want to work out a deal, but I have said that I think the best option for them, long term, might help to have him this year, but I think long term it would be better to trade him.
Well, pretty much what I have seen and heard is that he's going to end up being here for this year, but there's already trades or trade talks happening for the following season. So
Hey.
like other teams are already like considered as
I
if
mean-
he's being scouted. Like there's other teams like trying to
Already
work
prepared.
something and prepare something to take TJ.
Yeah, and I wonder, and you brought up a good point before. I wonder if this stems from, and that depends on the season as well. But I wonder if it stems from he kind of was just a smidgen different coming back off of his injury. Like he was him, but he wasn't him. And I wonder if that plus age, plus cost, may. Hey, I don't think any one of us would have thought Minka Fitzpatrick would have gotten traded.
Or we
Yeah.
get fucking Smith and Ramsey in the same trade.
Right. So I mean, stuff
You
At
is
the
also
same
had
possible.
time, you know.
Yeah.
Like it
Stuff is
could have
possible.
been. It could have been the fact of like, oh, I'm getting hurt now. I'm putting my body on the line, and we're not getting anywhere for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
So-
I'm doing all this work, and nothing is coming out of it.
Well, hopefully he views it a little bit differently now that they seem to be a little bit serious with this trade and signing Rodgers and DK.
But I mean,
Yeah.
once again, we said this in the few past podcasts that it may look all nice. The team might be nicely built. We think they might have a decent run to the playoffs.
Sure,
That might not be the case
sure. No, that's
because
there's always that possibility. And that goes for any
we
team,
have all
really.
these great fucking players doesn't mean they can fucking work together.
Right. Yeah, no, that's very true. That's very, very true. But I'm gonna go with, hope. I'm gonna stick with hope. Anything is possible with hope.
Yeah. So, kind of going back to the trade. My whole reasoning was, yes, he's a great player for the Steelers, future Hall of Famer. I mean, everyone knows that. But with his coming of age and with the injuries he has had in the past, I do think it has affected him. Because he's a great player for us, but I do think last year especially, I think a lot of people noticed how he wasn't performing like himself. And, I mean, since there's already trade talks, they're going to have some market for him. Whether it be, a couple draft picks or that with a player. And I know fans, at the very least, knowing them, they would like a wide receiver too. So, with all that, you kind of have a little trade where you trade him for a great wide receiver too. Pair that with DK and Aaron Rodgers, Jalen Warren, that line. It's something to kind of think about for a long-term process.
Yeah.
And with him trying to ask to be the highest non-paid player of history for what he's kind of put out for us, I don't think it's up to par with what he's asking. Which I do believe is $40 million.
Yeah.
But I'm like, if it was like 30 to 35, I think it would work out better. But asking for a high price when you didn't put out a high performance, it's kind of something to just think
in
about.
a small way, it's fair.
I mean, it would be
Small way,
nice
it's
to
fair.
have him, but for the future of the team, maybe a trade would be a better outcome.
Just to keep
And
that-
again, maybe that's just something that they
Just to save that
strongly
little bit of
consider
trade him
Yeah.
off.
or think about, for next season. Maybe they really want to try and hold on to him for this season in hopes that there's going to be a very strong push for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Even though there's quite some sports talk analysts that believe that if anything, they may actually make it to make it to the playoffs, but in the how was that called, first round? Wild card. Thank you. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. We had like a wild card team and
Yeah, so yeah, we're known for that. So
right, yeah, we're known.
so if we
that.
end up there, it's
First
just
round
another.
exits. That's
You know,
what we
and,
are.
and quite frankly, I don't think I would mind it too much to see them as a wild card team and then get and that happens. Then you could kind of hope a little bit more for a little bit more out of the team. But as it stands, there hasn't been anything concrete that we're aware of that has transpired with T.J. Watt. So
Yeah.
other than that, in NFL kind of news, in case anybody cares, I know I care. I don't, but just it's out there that Shador Sanders is poop. Hardcore stank poop.
And what makes you say this?
Poop.
Well, I know about the
He is now ninth on the depth chart. He's actually behind the kicker. The kicker actually has a better shot at inserting himself into the quarterback position than Shador Sanders. And that's I'm being all serious.
I mean,
I haven't even heard much about Shador.
He hasn't shown. At least they haven't actually reached their camp and stuff like that. But during the summer workouts and OTAs, he just pretty much showed that everything with him was just all major hype. To the point where people are actually talking more about Kenny Pickett actually being QB1.
I have seen some of that. Yeah.
And I'm being very serious. Like they're actually having some conversation about Kenny Pickett actually making it as QB1 for the Browns. Well over Shador, who, like I said, he's probably like ninth on the depth chart.
I mean,
I actually think he's behind Deshaun Watson.
I forgot he was there. I feel
What
like
else
the
they have?
I feel like the most obvious option for them will be Joe Flacco. But I think if they were to try and take it a little more seriously, it might be either Pickett or Gabriel.
Well, I mean, only time will tell. I can't really care
Yeah.
less as the Browns. It's a stanky Browns with a stanky Shooter Sanders.
And getting locked up in that dog pound, you know.
So that's all I got. That's all I got to say about that. So moving on, we're going to move on to. I guess we'll really briefly touch NHL, and then we'll finalize with MLB. But one thing that I will bring up as far as the NHL is concerned is number one, the Pittsburgh Penguins do not look like a team as I've seen and heard from other sports talk outlets that they're looking like they're trying to prepare to just wander in the basement for this season in hopes to up their chances for the lottery for next year's draft, and hopes that they get the super top prospect of next season, which is Gavin McKenna, who committed to Penn State. He's going to make $700K a year or something like that for playing for Penn State. So Mitch Marner ends up going to the Golden Knights.
Yes, goes to Las Vegas.
And I remember last podcast or two we did discuss some possible free agents that would look nice in a Penguins uniform. Just so you know, not any of them that we've ever mentioned are going to be in a Penguins uniform. So
Never.
Classic Pittsburgh.
Well,
it's not always up to the team.
I get it. Like and we talked about this already. I mean, we talked about the fact that players like Ovechkin and Crosby, Malkin, these guys are going to end up retiring, and you know, every franchise is going to look for that franchise player.
Well, it was already said that Gino's going to retire at the end of this.
Well, Gino's not going to be a Penguin after the end of this year. It's basically
I thought it
what
was
it is.
already announced that he was going to retire.
He's not going to be in a Penguins uniform after the end of this season. Now, whether that means he's going to travel to Europe and play wherever there, or stay in the NHL and play for another team, and if that's the case, if he's looking to possibly stick around and play a little bit longer, and in the NHL, perhaps it's time to take that into consideration and make a trade.
Well, I mean, you got Gino who's going, and then the following year it's Sid whose contract is up, and then the following season after that is Letang.
Right, and those guys probably could bow out, you know, all of them at the end, you know, by next year if they really wanted to. And that's something you have to prepare for. You have to have that somewhere in the back of your mind that could happen, and you need to be prepared.
They can retire before their contract is up.
Right, exactly. And so again, like I said, the Penguins made some signings that are guys that I think we just saw them, you know, out at one of the other ice complexes or some shit like that. Just guys that I don't even know who they are. They're just random dudes that they sign. And it looks like, again, they're just trying to muddle through the season this year, which is going to be hard considering you still have, you know, not only, like we said, Sid and Malkin and Letang, but you also have Rust and some of these other guys that
Rust is a little rusty.
A little bit, but I don't think that these guys are rusty enough to actually dwell in the basement.
Well, I look
As
at
a
it this way.
projected.
I mean, we can't have, you know, a star team every fucking year.
No, of course not.
So
Of course not.
I think for the next few years we're gonna have a bottom contending team until we can finally.
That's kind of what they're looking at. That's what a lot of people speculate is happening this season.
But
is for them to hope to up their chances for the lottery for next year's
conversation that I was having with Taco on the 4th, our cap space is increasing. We're gonna have up to 90. So we got plenty of money to spend.
Right.
Like, if we really wanted to, we could afford McDavid.
Right, right,
Yeah.
but
Would that actually happen? Probably
really not.
But Like, we could afford, like, take all the star players off of each team and pick 3.
And we'd be able to afford all 3 of them.
All 3 of them.
Right.
It would destroy our cap space, but we could afford all 3 of them.
Right.
Now, I do have a question,
Yeah.
and it's going to be about the Penguins.
Fire away.
But do we think it might be a good time, since we know about Crosby and Malkin and them slowly retiring, most likely? Should we try to trade them for younger players? Or should we something of a trade for them?
The thing with hockey is that they will keep their star players till the end.
Okay.
So,
for the most part.
like Washington, they kept Ovi to the end. We're gonna keep Sid to the end. Gino, probably not. Letang, probably not.
There's been a lot of, well, maybe not as of recent that I know of, but there have been. I mean, hell, even Gretzky was traded. Gretzky was traded. Messier was traded.
But I mean,
a lot of there have been players. Brett Hall. I mean, I could go on with guys who went on to other teams. You know, regardless of whatever it was, it still had that kind of success. So yes, it can happen. Malkin can possibly be traded to another team. And quite frankly, I would do it. I would just do it, and even if you just get a bunch of guys that bag groceries for a while.
Well, like the thing is
if
Toronto is going to end up keeping Matthews, they just re-signed Tavares.
Sure.
And then Washington, they kept Ovi till the very end. He already announced that after next season,
Penguins are going to keep Sid no matter what.
Penguins are going to keep Sid.
Right. That's and I get that. I definitely get that.
Gino's been having off seasons for the past few years. He should have been traded a while ago. He should have never fucking re-signed.
Right.
Letang, he's just Tanger. He's just doing Tanger things.
And nobody, I don't think anybody's.
I mean, he has a few amazing plays. He scored. He has the points. He's still consecutive, but it's just the numbers are dropping.
Players can and will have gone to various teams. Fleury's one of them. Yeah. And arguably one of the, I would say probably top 7 fucking goaltending.
Look at it this way: you had Stamkos from Tampa. He ended up getting traded to Nashville. Marchand. Well,
I'm just saying. So there are special players that organizations will hold on to. Gino.
If you're talking about Boston,
I'm just saying, Obi,
Pasternak.
Sid, Austin Matthews. These guys are going to be the mainstay. So players like Mitch Marner, another team. I didn't look through all that, but there are players that go to other teams. Malkin definitely could be one of them. Even Letang could be one of them. If the Penguins are thinking to themselves, maybe, just maybe, we can go this route and we'll even increase our chances to dwell in the basement. Hell, I mean, you could even do that with Russ and Raquel.
Yeah.
If you really wanted to.
But, I mean, my thing is you go through, a majority of the team that has their star players. Boston is Pasta. Avs is McKinnon. Oilers is McDavid. The Leafs is Matthews.
Mm-hmm.
The Penguins is Sidney.
Right.
And then the Caps is Ovi.
Right.
Do you really think they would let those players go?
No.
But the understars,
right.
like Gino for us, Marchand for Boston,
Marner,
Rantanen for Avs.
Yeah.
Rantanen ended up getting traded to the Canes, then to Dallas, and then Nekis or Nietzsche's, however the fuck Martin Nietzsche's. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. He ended up getting traded, and it's like the second stars, but we didn't do it.
No.
I don't think the Penguins ever.
Gino hasn't been our second star for a while.
I don't even know if we have a second star.
No.
You know what I mean?
I mean,
In any position.
so like for the Oilers, it's Draisaitl,
Right.
but Draisaitl at this point is performing equally to McDavid. He's not as fancy on his fucking feet,
Right.
but
it's performing.
he's performing.
And Malkin's not performing like Draisaitl.
But the thing is the only reason Draisaitl is performing is because of McDavid.
David, yeah.
McDavid assists Draisaitl.
Right.
So, what would Draisaitl be without McDavid?
Yeah, I don't know why they don't have Sid and Malkin together. And just fuck it.
Whenever
What?
they're on the ice together, yeah, shit happens.
I would just do it.
But they're both centers.
Dude,
One can be a wing. It's fine.
throw someone on a fucking wing. Play wing, bitch.
I mean,
You know what I mean?
find another center.
Dude, if I was Malkin, I would sit there and say to myself, yeah, please put me on a wing. Sid's going to feed me all day long.
I mean, Sid's assist numbers are already
Dude.
fucking high.
Right. Well, that's what I mean. You know, fuck, dude. No one knew of Rob Brown until he got on fucking Mario Lemieux's line. And that's all he did. He was a fucking fire hydrant. Lemieux just popped it off of fucking Rob Brown. Ting, score. That's all fucking Malkin and Sid have to do.
Honestly, like, whenever you look at it, whoever is on the ice with Ovechkin, like, whatever line he is on, obviously his first line. So whoever his center and other winger are,
They're gonna get points.
they get points.
They're gonna get points. They're gonna be in a positive.
No matter what.
Yeah.
They're going to get assists.
So you have Sid and Malkin together. I don't know who you would put on the other wing. Russ.
Russ.
You do that. You toss away, or maybe not even toss away. You could toss away Raquel if you really wanted to. I would keep the one that's younger, maybe. I don't know which one's younger. I would imagine
it's
Raquel.
Yeah.
And you run with that top line, and then you just kind of fill in the rest. And then you go through the season, you know, Bob's your uncle, and then now you have,
Bob's your uncle.
and now you have an opportunity to have a high chance to get Gavin McKenna, who's gonna, from my understanding, is probably wherever he goes is going to be the next whatever.
Well, see, like, here's my
insert
thing.
name here.
I've watched multiple prospects enter the NHL. Nothing has happened.
This is very true.
So the biggest
but-
one that I was like a huge fan of, and you might remember this, was Alexis Lafreniere.
Okay.
Kind of.
He
Is that
actually
that French
played-
bastard?
Yes, he played on the same team that Sid played for whenever he got drafted first round. He ended up going first round to the Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
Where is he at now?
Yeah.
Okay, and then you have Kaprizov, who is actually the star player of the Wild, but
But he's on the Wild.
he's on the Wild.
He doesn't have any supporting cast.
No.
Yeah, that
You have McDavid,
yeah.
who's fucking McDavid,
He's
and
McDavid. He's a special breed. He's in that special breed.
he's McJesus. Okay,
He's in the special breed category.
McJesus of hockey.
You know, and that's what I've heard. They're talking about this McKenna dude they're like he is that damn good. He is Connor McDavid good.
I mean,
So
in the draft, I forget what fucking year. I'm not good with numbers. One of the Hughes brothers, Luke Hughes. So you have Jack Hughes, who's the center of the Devils.
right.
You also have Quinn Hughes, who's the defenseman for the Canucks.
Oh, okay, yeah, so I don't know where he's at now.
And then Luke Hughes ended up getting picked up by the Devils. Now you have the younger brother competing with the older brother to be the star player. Obviously, he's going to be in his shadow. Because, I mean, he was their, like, Jack Hughes was their first round pick, along with Quinn, for the Canucks. And then they go and they grab another Hughes brother, and what is he doing? It's like these first round picks, they haven't really shined. It hasn't been that way since McDavid. And then before that, it was Matthews.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen this kid play. I'm just basing off of what I hear.
Either before
And-
or after, but
What's that?
I was like, it was either before or after McDavid or Matthews. I forget who was 1 year, whatever.
So it all remains to be seen. But that, what the Penguins are doing this offseason, at least at this point, doesn't appear that they're too concerned with making a push for anything other than hoping to get a pretty high prospect.
The bottom of the barrel.
Or whatever.
I
Or
mean,
whatever they're planning on doing.
Honestly, they're probably just looking for a big pot. And
Maybe.
knowing how our GM is, I mean, he was the GM for Toronto, and we were pretty certain that he was going to try to go after Marner, but Marner was already looking at different teams.
Right.
But you never know. I mean, everybody has their own plan. I mean, we've gotten thrown how many curveballs by, the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's Pittsburgh. You never know what happens.
right. I mean, they could pull something out of their ass, or they could
They-
just
They may just
swim in the dumpster for a little bit.
right, exactly. You just don't know. Just don't know right now yet.
But speaking of dumpster, Pirates.
Ha!
Yeah, they still exist, huh?
They took a massive shit.
Hey, we were doing good. We're doing good.
We were.
Well, that's
We'll let
surprising.
Sage take over on that one.
What's that? Like 6 games? They had like a 6-game.
Yeah, we had
winning
2
streak?
sweeps back to back. We swept the Mets series and then we
Okay.
swept the Cardinals.
Right. So now we're in July,
And now
and now we take the and now it's a big plunge.
Yep.
It happens every year.
That's the Pittsburgh plunge.
Every year, once July.
That's why they made the
Yeah.
ride.
Once July comes and it runs
It
into
just
August,
replicates, Pittsburgh itself. It's like,
you know,
we're doing
now,
well.
Now,
Oh,
now
shit.
they're on the descent in that roller coaster, just like, Wah!
I mean,
And what's crazy is the thing that I read was that there have been a lot of requests for Mitch Keller.
Rich Keller, and I believe Bednar as well.
And Bednar as well, but Keller looks to be a hot commodity right now for teams that are making that actual push to carry through the playoffs. What does that mean for us? Absolutely freaking nothing. That just means the same old, same old.
Once again, every team has their star player, and ours is Skeens, but he can't carry us every single fucking game.
Yeah, no
No.
kidding, bro.
I
tried his
can't
game,
ever blame him
but-
for.
We have decent games, where Cruz goes to step up, Reynolds, McCutcheon, like they step up, but it's periodically,
Right.
and it's
There's
always seems
there's
to
no
be.
there's no consistency.
It seems to be only when Skeens is fucking playing.
I think a lot of times they may still feel
Shit, we're at the bottom of the ninth right now, tied 3-3 with who's playing?
Seattle
Royals.
Yeah,
Royals. Yeah, sorry.
they're about to.
I mean, kind of from what I've heard, is
But the Pirates just have no bats. They really, honestly, do not have any bats. They don't have anybody that comes up to that plate and the opposing pitcher gets a little jittery. There is not one. You can't name one that somebody walks up to that plate and the pitcher's like fiddling with the ball going, okay, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do?
Oh, there's a couple.
Actually,
No,
There's
come
like
on.
2.
there's
Two
Cruz.
theories.
If Cruz makes contact,
If.
if
You can't just sit there and say if. Like,
well, that's the thing. Whenever they
He's-
go,
if.
whenever they go up to the mound, they're like, "What do I got to do to make sure?"
name Aaron Judge comes to bat. What are you doing? You're fiddling with that fucking ball. What am I going to do? How do I pitch to him?
fiddle the ball.
O'Neal Cruz comes up to bat. Oh, yeah. If. I got this if.
Well, if Judge makes contact, it's fucking
Oh,
gone.
Judge is making contact. That's proven. That's not if.
Well,
That's
in a
consistent.
pitcher's mind, like
So, no,
Well,
Cruz is a far cry from Judge.
absolutely.
So that's my
point.
point. I'm not saying we need a Judge, but we need someone that might be in between Cruz and Judge, because Cruz is saying it.
I mean,
It's not it.
also another thing. I think another thing that affects us is our closing players. Sakines is good. He starts, But a starting pitcher can't
not just
do
that,
all
but
innings.
Recently,
It's always
if I've
A
heard
lot of
correctly,
innings where we screw up.
I think maybe his last couple starts they allowed him to pitch. The one he had a not so great outing one time, and it happens. It happens to the best of them.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of fantastic pitchers have just not
Magic
a good day,
doesn't always work.
but they've only allowed him to go 5 innings. He gets 60, 70 pitches, and they're like, come on.
But there might be something going on behind the scenes.
We don't know for sure, right? No, we don't know for sure.
I mean, something might be physically going on with him
Maybe,
that they're trying to reduce him.
and maybe they're just trying to save him. So,
But if that's the case, then why not try and push for a better closing?
but the fact of the matter is,
Because I've heard it's been the bullpen.
Skeens is
it
your
is
guy.
Yeah.
The bullpen.
Skeens is your guy. They don't have a strong bullpen. They don't even have another. Slightly above average starter.
I mean, honestly, what our team is good at is playing the field. That is it. We have good fielders.
It's here and there, though.
I mean,
that's even.
kinda-
That's
That's the honest
That's what I'm saying,
answer.
good.
It's like
I'm just saying
I mean,
It's
not,
hit or
not that
miss.
this might happen, but another thing that they could do, at least pitcher-wise, to try and help with not getting scored so fucking much, is maybe find another starting type pitcher and have Skeens be a relieving or something. I mean, Skeens is good. No matter what fucking inning, he'll do something great for us. But for having him start and then you have shitty bullpen, yeah, we're gonna probably fucking lose. But
I would can only
kinda
imagine that
have him with another good player, your innings are gonna be great.
Skeens might be a different animal, but I can only imagine a guy going out there and putting out stuff that you're just like, man, this guy's freaking good, and I can only imagine the guys on the field are probably more at awe at seeing this display of this particular guy that quite possibly doesn't transcend to them going up to bat and helping this phenomenal pitcher out. But he's the only guy. I'm surprised he's not sitting there going, you know what? I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna go out there. I'm just gonna throw this motherfucker wherever. The fuck do I care? This fucking organization doesn't give two shits about giving me any kind of supporting cast. Why the fuck should I worry? Or unless he's like, you know what? On the other hand, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go show him all my good shit because I'm gonna hope and pray that they ship me off to the Yankees.
Yeah.
I'm being serious.
Yeah.
He's got no supporting cast whatsoever.
I mean, imagine him on the fucking Yankees, or on a great team.
You gotta have some
That's
supporting
what
cast. You
Pittsburgh
have
needs
to.
is to have.
You don't have to be the
a great
Yankees,
team.
but goddamn, you gotta have a better supporting cast.
But whenever you go and you look at the games that we're losing, it's not by much. Yes, there are the games that we get blown out. All right, 6-0, 7-0. I forget the one that we.
I mean,
still, the games that we're losing,
12-0.
They happen within the
even
last
the games
few
that we're
innings.
losing that aren't by much, those are games that we should be winning.
Yeah.
I mean,
because
I remember the one
We
game.
lost today.
On the previous podcast, I think we mentioned it. But we were 3-0 versing someone in the 7th inning or something. By 9th, it was 3-4. And we
Yeah.
lost.
That's exactly what just happened.
That's the thing is we
lost
lose
it.
by 1 or
The
2.
game
It's
we went
always
to-
consecutive.
We were up 4?
Yeah.
We're up 4 going
We
into
fucking
the
fumbled.
9th, and they scored 4 runs to tie it,
Well, we won still, but
and then it pushed it into extra innings. Yes, we won,
barely.
barely.
But the performance wasn't great by the team.
No.
No,
Well,
it
that's-
was a nail biter, and honestly, I enjoyed it.
Fact.
I wish it would have just been hey, we won, instead of oh, here we go, come on, just hit the damn ball.
Throw it out.
But I mean,
That's
that's
just
also
the
part
thing.
of the excitement of going to the games. Is whenever the games are that close and you're actually sitting on the edge of your seat, that's more exciting than knowing, oh, we're gonna win. It's in the back, we're gonna win. It doesn't matter, whatever team it is. We could have all the star players from every fucking team on our team. It would be boring as shit.
That's what mostly fucking any team that plays us thinks. Oh, fuck.
Yeah,
Easy one.
I wouldn't mind seeing that. I wouldn't mind having a season where I'm bored but we're kicking ass. I wouldn't mind that
the
for
Pirates
a
finally
season.
winning. Yay.
I mean, to be fair, it would be nice for us to have one season like that. We haven't had a season like that since the 70s.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
or the 90s.
Since the last time we fucking won
We
the
had,
cup.
we had a pretty fair team in the 90s.
Championship.
We had a pretty fair team in the 90s. We did.
Mhm.
It was something to get excited about. You go to the park at that point in time, and you're like, hey, oh shit, we're playing whomever, Cardinals, whoever, you know. Mark McGuire's coming up the bat, you know, and shit like that. So you get to see the Cardinals and Mark McGuire, who's built like a fucking brick house,
Yep.
you know. But then you watch and you see the whole product on the field, and you're a little bit excited, you know. Now,
Honestly,
people are only going for whomever we're playing, and if Paul Skeens is fucking bitching.
Honestly, whenever we were there, it just felt like an amusement park without any rides.
Yep.
Right.
I mean, we were walking around freely. We sat in our seats for 3 fucking innings, and then we got up and we just started walking around.
Right.
That's because
But we
our
were
seats
still
tight as shit.
watching the game.
Right.
Honestly, we were we started chirping Bellinger out in the outfield.
You know.
Hey, Bellinger!
Right hand for tits, left hand for ass.
Cody, your joint's still burning in the dugout. Go get it.
Is that gummy kicking in right now? But I mean, that was pretty much it. We had nice ass seats on the first base line. All right, we weren't like too close, but we were there. We're on the bottom level. Very nice view of everything.
Kind of edging it, you know.
Yeah, kind of edging it.
The seats are just this fucking small.
Yeah, it'd be like if us 3 were sitting together on the couch.
I mean, I would love that.
Like we're
Oh, sorry, Cat.
smushed.
No, I gotcha.
But we ended up getting up, walked around. We ended up going out to the outfield, and then we were just kind of walking around from there. We ended up going up onto the
Just
whatever the thing.
the spiral fucking thing. Rotunda.
Yeah,
Where the fuck
the
they were called.
rotunda.
Rotunda.
Yeah, and then he's
Right.
like, "I've never been to the top of the rotunda," so we went up to the top of the
I got
rotunda.
like damn near to the top. Then like I was like, well, I was
Honestly, like
4
the
or 5.
rotunda, amazing view.
So you guys had a mandate.
Oh well, yeah, we were
Oh,
holding
100%.
hands on the way up there.
Well,
You
you,
know?
and Josh left me. I had a piss.
But
I'm saying
I
if
would
it was
like to go with a little bit of positive excitement. To
That-
sit down and go,
that we'll be able to win.
you know,
I think we can win this one,
It's
guys.
like-
Special appearance,
it's like good feeling
Milo.
to sit there and go to the game. But so, one thing I did hear,
It's my pussy.
a conversation that took place was about
Cat.
these
Pussycat,
these
yes.
2 pitchers, one for the Phillies, one for the Pirates. Zach Wheeler of the Phillies, Paul Skeens, both are are front runners for the Cy Young for National League,
So you'll
and they're both
something to change.
very very close. Zach Wheeler has a 9-3 record. His ERA is 2.17. He has 148 strikeouts. Paul Skeens is 4-7. He has a 1.94 ERA and 125 strikeouts. The question that was posed when I was listening to the radio was, who actually deserves the Cy Young? Technically speaking, they're probably, media is going to look to the guy who's getting the wins.
Yeah.
You know,
Wheeler.
right?
But I mean, talent-wise, would you go for Skeens?
I mean, they're both very
Now
good,
this is we're in
so-
we're still in July, so I think
No,
we're
no,
get through
can't
July
have
and
that.
August and see what transpires. If hopefully if Paul Skeens remains a Pirate,
One way to find out, I guess.
knowing and seeing that, and the fact that Wheeler has been in the league a little bit longer than Skeens, that's where I sit there and go, it's amazing the fact that Skeens is doing what he's doing on a shit Pirate team. And yes, he has a record of 4-7, but that's not his fault. You know, he's had a lot of fucking.
I mean, probably
you know,
out of
no
all
decisions.
of those, maybe one game was his fault.
So
But that's the thing; it's not him.
for me, and not because I'm here in Pittsburgh, but seeing that with the two statistics right now, I would go for Skeens. I think it's amazing that you know a young player like that was like his, what, second or third season.
I think second.
This is second. Yeah.
I mean, come on,
It's
I
his
mean,
first
ain't
second
he-
season.
fucking 1.84 ERA.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and the fact that he does get pulled a little bit early in games. You know, only doing so many pitches, but that's still amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing that he puts his team in a grand position every time he goes out, well, except for that once. But every time he goes out, yeah, 11, starts is not bad. Where you put your team in a grand position to win a game, and they just
I just fumble it.
Yeah. Although, like I said, I feel like that's almost every game now where, we've said, 3-0, 7th inning, he gets taken out, and we fall apart. Like, as soon as he goes out, we fall apart. And that's just...
that's
That's
sad.
But it's nice that,
Sad.
he
It's-
is the key.
Yeah, it makes you feel
But
confident.
there's no lock yet. Like,
That's you have that pitcher on your roster, but the problem is that's all you have is that pitcher on your roster.
Yeah.
That's your count on guy.
And then we just have some decent players.
Yeah.
And they're decent players. There's something is not clicking. Whether it's
It's the owner.
no matter what, no one knows what it is exactly except for
Sorry.
in the organization. And I don't know. I still think they need a bat. Like they need someone that's going to put a little bit of fear when they get up to bat. And there's no one on that roster that does that.
I mean, it's not the fear you're thinking of, but like we do have good batters. It's just
No, you're right. We have good batters, but they're not producing. They're not producing. And you could give me 19 good batters. And if they're not producing, I'll take the one great batter that is.
I mean, I don't know. Like, yes, the Pirates are just the Pirates. Obviously, I mean they haven't been good in how many years, but
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not
Yeah.
their, and it's a shame. It's not their fault.
it's kind of like
It's
we're
the
just
organization's fault.
preaching to the choir. You know, like everybody in the city is just kind of like, I wish we had a better team.
Sure.
But like,
Yeah.
there
Well-
are good players on the team.
Right.
Like, we have our stars, Skeens. But then you go down the line from there, and then you got Reynolds, McCutcheon, Cruz, Pham. Like, those are the first four that'll come to my head as, like, the other names that I always hear people talking about.
Right.
I mean,
But then that's that.
that's
That's that.
that's it.
That's it.
I mean, McCutcheon's breaking records. Cruz is breaking records. Reynolds is just being Reynolds. I mean, he's there. He does shit when it's...
When he needs to do shit, he shows up. But obviously, yet again,
Doesn't
he's a
seem like all the
pirate,
time.
so
I mean,
sometimes
this definitely isn't like 2 years ago Reynolds. This is like a lower level of Reynolds. But, like,
I'd definitely say that.
I mean, about Cruz, he's in the home run derby.
I would say, in my opinion, Cruz is the best batter we have. I mean, he's definitely proved himself as being a great outfielder by throwing a ball from center field to home plate, throwing out a guy with the ball flying 105.2.
Well, so did Andy Van Slyke. And he was a hell of a batter.
And when did he
And
play?
I would definitely take him over Cruz right now.
When did he play?
1990 something.
Exactly.
But my point being is that was
That was like
that was a
like
good
25
bat and
fucking
a
years
great
ago.
outfielder.
Well,
And he showed it.
30 fucking years ago,
He showed
like,
it.
I know this is gonna come back and just fucking bite me in the ass because it's all gonna depend on the first fucking word I say. When he makes contact I already hear it coming.
When? So when he does.
It's a fucking nuke. But yet he needs to have
Consistency.
better vision.
Okay.
So he needs to definitely be more consistent.
There's got to be, not just him, but these other guys need to be a little bit more consistent. You need to, like, it was 3-3, you know, and I don't know what happened.
We lost.
Well, I know we lost, but I don't know how, why, what, whatever.
It's the Pittsburgh
That's it.
Pirates.
When I checked, that was the bottom of the
It's
ninth.
3-3. We gotta what? We lost.
Fucking Santana's pitching in the bottom of the ninth, and they had a runner on first and third, and I guess somebody hit the ball, and runner came in from third, and boom, they won.
Just a blooper.
Yep.
That happens.
Or a ground ball, and that was it.
Santana's not very good, though, but...
Give me a second. He's a bit of a pain.
Like, I know...
They're just, and I would not feel the way I feel if these guys were a little bit consistent. Even with losses, even if they were consistent, and you felt confident and comfortable, like, oh man, okay, you know, and I know that players have good days, bad days. I get that, but there's just it's been shown so far there hasn't been any consistency. I mean, a 6-game winning streak, yay, great. But now you can't have a 6+ game losing streak. You just can't. That needs to transcend to splitting it even.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't come back and have multi-game losing streaks. Just can't. All that winning streak crap was just, you know, the sun shining on a dog's ass.
It's not really
That's all
a
that
pretty sight
was.
to look at.
Sorry, I'm just pulling up stats right now.
Well, I seen his average was 200 some.
Yeah, his average is .203. Home runs 16. RBIs 36. SB?
Stolen bases.
Is that stolen base? I think that's stolen bases. He has 28 stolen bases and has a .724 OPS.
Yeah, stolen bases.
Yeah. And then, since keep trying to compare people to Judge.
He was the first person that popped in my head that has a good, you know, has a strong back. If you could think of somebody else, that's fine. But I'm not, you know.
Judges is probably gonna be blowing him out the fucking water. Is that a 3? Yep, 361.
He has 335 at bats with a .361 average, 34 home runs, 75 RBIs, 6 stolen bases with a 1.208 OPS.
Judge ain't known for speed, so he ain't stealing shit.
No.
So the fact that he has 6 is surprising.
So is that for this year or like?
That's for this
Okay.
season. But I mean, he has like a whole 40 extra at bats than O'Neal does. So, yeah.
Compare O'Neal to
Yeah, but he's.
Duelli.
But that's consistent. If you take all that,
De La Cruz stats.
you know, that's consistent.
Cruz versus Cruz.
Cruz versus
All right.
Cruz.
Ellie De La Cruz has 353 at bats. He's running with a .275 average with 18 home runs. Same home runs. 60 RBIs and 22 stolen bases with a .830 OPS. So, just a little bit higher numbers than fucking O'Neal.
So
But he
he's-
also has an extra 60 at bats.
I mean,
So
that could
you
be
can
another
put
key
that in a
factor.
prospect too. Like he has 60 more chances,
Yeah.
so
no, I get
his
that.
average is kind of more spread out.
Yeah, I get that.
So, but O'Neal has 290 at bats, running with a
203 average.
.203 average,
Yeah.
to where he's running with, what did I say, .270.
Like 270 or something like that.
And Ellie De La Cruz is a star player of the
Reds.
I almost said Cardinals.
Same color pattern, just one's a bird.
Same color there. They're Reds.
Where the fuck
They're
the
all
Reds mascot
that
is?
red team.
That red team, the 5
Yeah,
one.
red team.
I almost said like Cincinnati Cardinals.
Yeah, that Cincinnati red team.
Well, it's not too
Oh,
far
you're
from
right.
the Bengals, you know.
Yeah, the Cleveland red team. So-
Cleveland, yeah, whatever.
But like
Red coats. I don't know.
I don't.
Ellie,
I can't have any kind of excitement sitting here going, that's great. O'Neal Cruz got invited for a home run derby, but then after that he's got to go. Then he's gonna have to hit the bar and because that's it. Like, okay, I could watch any number of players swing a bat and hope to get in a home run derby.
my only thing against O'Neal is that
I don't have anything against him. He's just him and other players are just not consistent enough on the Pirates to make you feel hopeful and excited to want to go and see a game.
Well, his consistency lies within his vision. Okay, the vision of him seeing the ball.
He better go
come.
to Lens Crafters or some shit.
Okay, it's okay. All right.
No, that was a funny joke.
Thank you.
That was a real.
That-
you need to slap her
I
right
was saying,
there,
no, that
man.
was a good one. I'll give you that one.
It's like a dad joke,
It is a dad
Uh-huh.
joke.
Yeah.
No, I get it. So,
This does
but I mean
too.
that can be.
Like your thing was like earlier, if a pitcher was to come up and O'Neal was walking onto the field, are they going to tremble? Those pitchers will know O'Neal is weak against this throw, but is strong against this throw.
Every pitcher and catcher has that idea.
It's the same thing for
batters.
Judge. It's the same
I
thing
absolutely
for
get
Ellie.
that.
So like
I absolutely
for
get
Judge, throw low and outside.
that. No, I get that.
Like he's not going to crank the ball low and outside. If you throw it outside and mid, if you center the ball on anybody, they should.
It's not
be able
just
to
not just I'm
crank
picking
that
on.
shit.
I'm not so much picking on O'Neal Cruz as it is that there's no consistency.
I was he's getting at the whole team.
And what I mean by bat is I didn't mean to specifically say Aaron Judge. It was the first person I thought of that is producing when he comes up to bat. So when he comes up to bat,
So when you think
there's
of
a
Judge,
pretty
you
high
think of
probability.
I did say at the game we went to, Judge wasn't trying, so that's why we won.
Judge, honestly, like
Dude,
no,
when
there
he's-
was definitely at the beginning of the game he was trying, but like towards the end he just gave up. He was like,
I'm gonna just do this for an example. Like I'm gonna just use this lightsaber.
Nah, he was putting energy between a couple of those swings
as
in the
we
beginning.
always play with these lightsabers. He'd come up to bat. I'm gonna turn it on too, so you can see me. He'd be like, "Okay, I'm ready." It's just that it's not a boom.
Yeah, I
Like,
think he
he's
killed
not-
him. What the
he
hell?
wasn't putting the power in it. He was just more or less
You killed Kenny.
coming up here for batting practice. Yeah. Like literally, you could see him dragging his swing. It was just coming here. That was it.
You killed him.
Rub his nipple.
What?
Oh shit!
Who said that?
Wait, what? Sorry.
I was like, God damn, that's cold.
But like, he's gonna cut glass. Whoops! I turned it on.
Like,
There just has to be some. There has to be a little bit more consistency for. Obviously, that goes without saying, for the Pirates to start being a little bit more successful. I don't know where you get that from. I don't know how you can
Sell
get that
the
other
team.
than coaches and management.
Hashtag
So,
sell the team.
I don't know. Like, what do they work on in fucking like practice?
Exactly. That's my point. Like, I don't know.
Like, the whole
what,
thing is, are you going to start with the bullpen, or are you going to start with the batting?
Like
I'd
with how
start with
close our
bullpen.
games are, like our series are, like do they even have time to even hit the batting cages or
Are
practice?
they even trying to?
Like, yeah, you're playing game after game after game after game after game. You have a day off in between a fucking series, and then you're back to another fucking series.
Yeah.
So like, there's no time for them to work on shit other than in a fucking game. But it's not only us. Like every other team is like that too.
Right.
So they're going through the same shit, but how are they still performing better? So
Right.
it's, as you said, management.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, hey guys, while you're out there today, let's try working more on this. You know, this is where we fell behind on this
Try
last
to
game.
hit the ball.
Like, look, this is the team we're going up against in this series. All right, let's do this. Okay, after our first game in this series, this is where we failed. Let's try to pick it up there.
But then
Okay?
again, it's Pittsburgh management where we all kind of know that they don't have the greatest
No.
there.
No.
Well, I mean,
In any team, it's kind of.
there was a point. I mean, there. I haven't watched games. All I could do is go from hearsay that they seem to be doing a little bit better since letting Shelton go and allowing Kelly to step in and manage the team. But still, that same
Well,
team.
I mean, his first fucking game, he got thrown out. So,
Yeah,
he got ejected.
no, it was great.
2 games in a row, he got ejected.
Great to see the winning streak, but like I said, you can't, all of a sudden have a multi-game losing streak. You just can't. So they have to, it's great if, you have a 3-game series here, a 3-game series there. Okay, maybe you get 1 out of the 3, but you can't just be. You can't go with that kind of multi-game winning streak and then all of a sudden turn around and be complete ass again. There's something not right. Something absolutely not right.
Well, like, what two teams did we sweep in their series?
Mets and Cardinals.
Mets and the Cardinals.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
And they played ball. Like, there was actual decent ball.
Mm-hmm.
And then now all of a sudden it's like actual decent shit.
We forgot how to
And
play
Back,
again.
right. We forgot how to play.
the
again.
Mets are a good team. The Cardinals
that's-
are a decent team.
That's what I said. It was good
So
ball.
they're both
those
good
games.
teams.
Those
They know how to
games.
Yeah,
play.
they had good balls.
Good. They were good games. They played well. They played smart. Now all of a sudden it's like you said. Like they forgot. Like they went like bad news Bears.
They have no idea what the hell baseball is now, but they're
Right.
gonna play
It's
it.
just very weird.
What's a
very,
ball? I never heard of it.
very
We're supposed to
weird.
hit these
And-
fuckers?
Oh, that's what you do with them. Okay.
and which also includes this evening with this evening's loss. So it's,
Yeah.
I mean-
it's tough. I
Like you said, we don't know how. Like, other than, they had a player on first, a player on third, they ended up scoring. Probably.
But then again, as we've said, it's been in the later innings.
Yeah,
It's
in
never
ninth
the
inning.
start.
So, I mean, once again, it does come back to having a better bullpen.
yeah.
I think we can probably work on that, but the team has to
Yeah,
be willing to
no,
spend
it
some
is
fucking
duly
money on
noted. It's
players.
not a super strong bullpen.
I don't even know, like, do we even have any, like...
Yeah, what's our cap space like? Like,
And I believe we have like 0 prospects even close to ready to attempt to, step up, from my understanding. And I could be wrong. I don't know for sure. But not that I've heard. Not like, oh, hey, be on the lookout for Joe Schmuckatelli. He's ripping it up in AAA and could be coming up anytime soon.
Schmickens.
Yeah.
Watch, it says our cap space is like negative 20.
It's at 89.5 mil.
89.5
We
mil.
ranked 26th.
Oh, damn.
What are we fucking sitting? Like, what are the average fucking contracts for football players?
Is that your
'Cause, like, I don't
dopey
even-
cat?
Yeah.
Like, I pay attention to NHL contracts. I pay somewhat attention to the
Give me a
NFL
second.
contracts and how much they're actually
Well, yeah,
spending. But
yeah,
you know,
The average contract is around 4.66 million per player.
4.6,
4.6.
Mil.
Yes.
and we're sitting at 89.5 mil.
Right.
So what the fuck are we sitting on? I mean, that's just like the Penguins. They're
That's
kinda-
that's Nutting's MO, dude. That's
Like-
what he wants. That's how he does business.
at the end of this
He
season.
wants that money to sit in his back pocket. For
I
how
mean-
long, dude? Like what? 15 years now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as I can remember, it's the same thing, year after year. He just sits on his freaking money. I think there was a year that our cap space was like 100-something million.
Yeah, we had
Like we could actually spend some fucking money.
It said we had a cap space of 110 million.
Yeah,
At one
I think it
time.
was like shortly after. I could be wrong. I thought it was like shortly after when we tossed away Jason Bay, like around that time frame, like.
We could have fucking Bay back.
There's so, I couldn't even name guys right now in that little time frame with Jason Bay and others that gave this city and the team some hope. That just,
dude, like when we had like, if we had Bay, Glasnow, Musgrove, like if we had those pitchers,
you know,
with Skeens. Like I know now, like Musgrove is not too peachy. Glass now, he's not too.
There was a lot of players.
Glass now still.
That
he's still up there.
There's a lot of there was, you know, maybe within a 7-year time period, that each year there was always somebody that could have remained on the team and that would have just added to the mix and probably could have transcended into something good for the city in baseball.
There was one other pitcher we had.
Right, I know.
And I forget his name.
I can't remember because it's just.
He was a decent pitcher, but like.
But if we had Garrett Cole once.
Garrett
Cole.
Yeah,
we had Garrett Cole.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Garrett Cole was another one. I mean, they.
What's his name? Walker?
There was a Neil Walker.
Neil Walker? Was that it?
Yeah, there was Neil Walker. It wasn't a pitcher, but it was a baseman, third baseman, first baseman, half baseman.
It was a pitcher.
21st baseman.
21st baseman. Which? What's he gonna go? That's right. I'll wait till after. I don't know what I'm doing. I think I just need to stand. My old ass need to stand.
I'll do that.
Which oddly enough, not what we're sitting here talking about this, but I've watched a couple guys do a reaction to the skit that Abbott and Costello did, called "Who's on First." I don't know if you guys ever seen it. It's classic baseball. You have to see it. If you haven't, you have to see it.
Yeah.
It's.
Who's on first? Yeah. Who? No.
That's his name.
Who?
What's the guy's name? What's on second?
Neil Walker. So who you're talking about?
Yeah. Well, Neil Walker was one. And again, like I said, there was just really good players that just came and then went.
We always get like these good players, and we get hyped about them, and then poof.
Same, and if I'm not mistaken, same with McCutcheon. I think when exactly McCutcheon first, there was this whole thing where we could build around McCutcheon, we can get this, we can get that, and then all of a sudden.
Kutch was the last time we had hope into the playoffs, and then they said, "All right, goodbye, Kutch." And we're like, "Why?"
Yeah. I think it's just like you don't get it, dude. Like you have to make money, you have to spend money.
Mm-hmm.
And if he were to have spent some money and kept, the McCutcheons and the Bays and Garrett Coles and so on and so on and so on and so forth, and actually had a team like that, and God forbid if they went to the playoffs and maybe went slightly deep into the playoffs, that's bringing in fucking big revenue, not only to your park but to the city as well.
I'm curious on who his financial advisor is. I think they need fired.
Probably his fucking self.
It probably is.
Probably himself.
He's probably having his jar of peanuts that he is.
I mean, it was what, 89 and a half?
Yeah. 89.5.
And then...
Yeah, that's plenty to...
You can pick up plenty of fucking players.
Yeah, a player or two for sure.
Absolutely.
A player or two for sure.
I mean, once again, it goes back to fucking NHL where the Pens are going to have like 90 and plenty of fucking money there.
Yeah.
And like, where the fuck is the Steelers cap space at now? But we've been making moves out of our ass and signings.
I think the Steelers are maybe around 40.
What was our cap at the end of last season, before off season?
For
Steelers.
Garrett Cole.
So like
Francisco Liriano.
is cap space or the end of the current season?
Bad.
End of this past season.
Okay.
Because I know they use their cap space.
Yeah, they used it definitely. And most of that was just
Neil Walker, Aramis Ramirez.
DK and Rogers and stuff.
Jordy Mercer wasn't bad. Starling Marte, Andrew McCutcheon.
Oh, I forgot we had Marte.
Gregory Polanco.
Fucking A.
Yeah, what if we kept those guys?
Exactly.
Like, come on.
What if?
But it's always like, oh, they had an off season. Goodbye.
To me, that's just the Pirates. Like,
I mean, yeah, you look at the Steelers, their players have had an off season. 2 off seasons, we've kept them, and then they've had an amazing fucking season after that. You look at the fucking Penguins, where, you know, the team themselves has had an off season, but then they've come back the following fucking season.
yeah.
Or you get that spurt to where they're like, ha, Stanley Cup, nothing, Stanley Cup.
nothing.
So,
Yeah.
did you find anything on that?
No.
No. Let's see. Let's see if I can pull something up. Oh, I thought that said NFL. Let's go pull it up there.
2019. No Garrett Cole. In 2019, Joe Musgrove. Francisco Liriano. They had Mitch Keller. Adam Frazier. Josh Bell.
At the end of the 2024 season, the Pittsburgh Steelers are projected to have over $40 million in salary cap space. This includes the carryover of $6.8 million from the 2024 season.
Brian Reynolds.
The Steelers
Polanco,
also have
Marte,
options to create even
Cabrera.
more space through potential contract restructures and or releases. And with 40 mil projected, we still made fucking moves.
Yeah.
So, what the fuck are the Pirates fucking sitting on? And their contracts are fucking
Their
like
own
10.
dicks. Their own asses at this point.
That's his MO. I mean, you know, like I said, that's his MO. That's what he does. He just sits on money that can be spent.
Nice ass.
Thank you, buddy.
Put on a
It
show
can be
for
spent
us.
on retaining players, getting players, you know, anything of that nature. And it just has happened for as long as I can remember.
When you look at contracts, you see it goes NFL, and then it goes NHL, and then MLB, and contract worth.
Yeah.
Like, the NFL, it's paying fucking contracts.
Right. Yeah, it's insane. Even basketball is pretty high too.
Yeah, basketball is fucking higher than hockey.
Right. Yeah.
So, but yet, we had 40 projected. I don't know if that's the actual fucking number we had, but 40 projected at the end of the 2024 season, which is this past season that just ended.
Yeah.
And we still made fucking shit happen. We made trades, we signed, we did all this shit. Penguins, they're going to have 90 by the end of this coming season. Don't know what they really have right now, but I mean, we just need to make shit fucking happen.
Yeah.
Stop sitting.
Sorry.
Stop sitting on the money. It's not fucking coming to you. You're just fucking sitting on it. Like, it's not like, yes, technically it's your money.
Well,
but
everyone here has been screaming that to Bob Nutting for forever, and the only way to stop all that, which no one's going to do, is just stop freaking buying tickets.
I mean,
Stop,
that's
and
where
no one's
the
gonna
income
stop.
is at.
Yeah, no one's going to stop. No one's going to stop that because everybody loves to go to the beautiful park. I've seen that park. I've seen that park a few times. First time I was amazed. The fifth time, it's a place where I could sit and watch some, you know,
Dumbasses.
dumbasses,
Stick.
you know, because
Dudes hitting balls.
I don't have anything to look forward to.
Yeah.
Because you're not putting a product on the field that's going to make me want to show up.
How bored is your wifey who fucking worked there?
Bro, she just talks to fucking her coworkers the entire time. It's fucking chat time until person comes in and goes, where do I sit? Where's my section? Where do I gotta go sit at? Where's the bar? Where's the bathrooms? Where can I get food?
Like, if she was to actually go to a fucking Pirate game, she wouldn't be even interested.
Probably not, because she just look at it now as fuck, I'm at work. This time I can just drink.
Knowing her, she'd probably end up actually helping somebody anyways while she's there.
Nah,
I'm here, might as well.
I already hear it. Don't fucking come to me, bitch.
I mean, yes, I enjoyed going to the game.
Yeah.
It was, time to get out, go out with the guys, enjoy a sports game. One of the cheapest fucking sports games I've ever fucking been to, other than the food.
Right.
Like, the food was more expensive than the fucking tickets.
Yes, and that's a whole other story.
That's a whole other thing.
But that's the
That's a
grab.
whole other conversation.
That's the grab. You sell the tickets for fucking cheap.
Yeah.
You get the people coming in, and they're like, oh, well,
Yeah.
I'm hungry.
Right. I'm spending $75
$20
so
nachos.
I can get some chicken tenders
Two
and
hot
fries
dogs
and a
for
drink.
$45? Alright.
$30 beer.
But I mean, it is what it is. As far as that's concerned, it's a whole other
It
conversation.
is what it
right?
is.
I think people would feel less upset if you take you're there with your buddies or your significant other or family members, dads taking sons and all that crap, and you're going. We're gonna, yep, I'm gonna spend $75. I'm gonna get you a drink and some chicken tenders, but we're gonna watch this game because, you might, we should see something pretty fun. It should be fun. It should be nice to. We're gonna watch Skeens pitch. We're gonna watch, Joe, Fred, Bob, and all this other stuff, and all you're doing is watching Skeens pitch, and at some point, after fifth inning, you're like, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, not gonna lie.
It's sad. It's tough. It's.
Like,
'cause I loved baseball. I was a kid. I loved baseball.
when,
Loved it.
When we were there, it was
Loved.
what? Fucking second inning, we ended up getting up by 4.
Yeah.
And then it was nothing, more nothing. And
We're
then
until like the seventh
fucking
inning.
8th, 9th
Seventh
inning, or 7th inning, shit started happening by the opposing team.
Right.
Look, I was more hyped for the Progress. I ain't gonna lie. That's why I go. I'm a fan of the Progress.
Yeah. I'm sorry to say, baseball is. I have left a baseball game early more often than any other sport that any kind of game I went to. Never left early for a hockey game. Always stayed to the end, no matter what. And I've only been to a couple of Steeler games and stayed there.
I've only been to one, and it was a preseason game, but it was fucking cold. So we fucking left.
The last one I went to.
It was whenever Vic was with us.
Oh, good lord.
Last one I went to was it was Steelers and Ravens. It was a Sunday. It was a 1:00 game. It was cold as hell. I had like 3 pairs of pants on, like 19 different shirts on.
See, but
I was like, well,
that's like the perfect football weather, though. When it's freezing cold, it's fucking perfect football weather.
Yeah, meanwhile, my dad's over here in fucking t-shirt and shorts, and I'm just like...
Get this over yet?
Go Steelers!
Oh, when I say that's the perfect football weather, I ain't gonna lie. I'd be saying with hot hands like, need about 20 more of these motherfuckers.
I want my hand warmers at.
but yeah, power game. I
It's not enjoyable.
I have left. We have left early.
Well, to sum it up,
Yeah, sorry.
Steelers are a shitty team, but they're starting to look better. Pirates are always a shitty team. Penguins are becoming a shitty team after having a shitty season.
Bless you.
Pittsburgh is just
Bless
shit.
you again.
Fuck.
Steelers are actually trying.
Steelers are trying.
Not something.
They're just hitting the
Penguins
99
are
a few
to be
times.
seen.
Yeah.
Don't know
Remains
if
to be seen. Yeah.
yeah, remains to be seen.
TBD.
To be determined.
To be determined.
You know, multiple possible chances there.
That's another thing too, man. It's tough. It's tough.
I mean, the last game that I went to was actually the game that we went on my birthday, where we watched the Penguins play Winnipeg. So that was the last game we went to. The game before that was against Detroit in December on the 28th.
We lost both of those.
Yes, unfortunately we lost both of those.
Yeah.
But we also had Murray at that time. Matt Murray as our goalie.
Really?
Yeah.
We had Tim Jarry for one, I thought.
Tristan,
whatever his name was.
Tristan.
Timothy.
It was Jarry and Murray.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, regardless.
But like that was the last time we went, and that was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So
that's when we were on Owendale.
Yeah. So, I mean, and then
3
the time
years ago.
before that, it was me and Taco who went to Toronto and Penn's game.
Yeah.
So
I mean, and I haven't felt indifferent about not being there. I'd like to go, but
honestly, the atmosphere is completely different than any other sports game.
It is. That's why I like going. I love watching.
Like, it's not even like, yes, the game itself is fucking amazing. You get to watch people get obliterated, and then you get so hyped whenever they get so close to the fucking net, and then nothing happens, and then you're like, oh, my adrenaline is coming back down. And
it's nonstop.
That's a true edge game.
It's constant go. It's not like,
and
okay,
the nice
let's
thing
wait
is
for people to get off the field. And then go back onto the field.
The nice thing about hockey games is no one, should anybody give any kind of opinion, you know they're going to know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
There's not too many people that just blurt out dumb shit like at Steeler games. People get tanked up.
Oh, we're the best in the nation, baby.
Yeah. Somebody's coming downstairs.
2 people. We got special appearances here. It's a baby.
There she is.
Hi, Sweetums. She's like, wait, I know you guys. But you're down in a different area. What's going on down here?
But, alrighty, so we were actually going to start closing this up here.
Yeah.
Alright.
We were kind of wrapping it up.
So takeaways is trade happened for the Steelers. Lost Minka Fitzpatrick, gained a couple Miami Dolphin guys. Pirates are still sucking, which is tough to watch continuously. And Penguins are TBD. TBD. And no taco.
And no Taco Tuesday.
Shame on
No Taco Tuesday. Maybe there'll be a Taco Saturday sometime.
We'll see.
We'll see.
It might be another month. You know. We've just been a little busy. If you guys have stuck around this long, we do appreciate you for hanging around. If you haven't already, please subscribe and turn the notifications on. If you aren't following us on Twitch, what are you doing? We do have a Discord. We haven't posted in there in a while.
Forgot about it.
Probably posted that.
Kind of forgot about it. But we'd be more than happy to chat in there with anybody who wants to join.
Happy chat.
We also have
happy chat, happy life.
TikTok and Twitter/X.
TikTok, Twitch, Twitter, Snick Snack.
Banana Hoogans.
Just find us wherever you can find us.
Links are down in the bio. We appreciate you hanging around. You guys enjoy the rest of your night.